Greetings. If you read a lot about blogging and you read a lot by the people who make a ton of money, they always have a bunch of recommendations on how you can make money. And one of the big recommendations they have is to create an email list. In essence, set something up on your blog so that people can subscribe to your newsletter so you can send them newsletters and marketing stuff. And I've been reading that mess pretty much since I started blogging in 2005. So that we're talking 14 years now. And I've always had the same question, which is, what if I don't have anything specific to sell? I mean, what am I supposed to sell? I could sell my books. I've written books on leadership. Some years ago, a bunch of years ago, I wrote a book on using your website as a marketing tool. I've got other products leading to leadership. But what am I supposed to sell with this newsletter list, this email list? And by the way, if I have it, do I write new stuff all the time that's different than what's on my blog? I guess that's really been my major question. I just wrote an article on my blog for Monday, and it talked about gurus and how one time, because over all these years, I've actually talked to some of the big names who are gurus. Some of them on Twitter, some of them on other sites. There used to be a site called Rise back in the early 2000s where you met a lot of these people. And I would talk to them and I would always ask the question. And they never really gave me an answer. And I found that it's just something that they started to do. There's a new guy that I just found out about. He's probably not all that new, but he's new to me. I just heard about him a few weeks ago. And his name is Brandon Gailey. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Gaille. He's known as the Blog Millionaire. And he's got some videos up on YouTube, but he also does a podcast. And so it was recommended to me. So I went and I downloaded a bunch of his YouTube videos and I converted them into MP3s so that I could listen to them while driving. And he told his process. He's got a very interesting backstory, by the way. So you should check him out just if you can find out, what got him into doing this. It's pretty, bold and whatever. He had some tough times, but he overcame that. And he still has some issues with it. Anyway, so I took all these things and I listened to all these things. And as I was listening, my mind went in three different directions. Sometimes it went into a direction and said, well, I do that now. Sometimes it went into a direction, well, I'm never going to do that. And a couple of rare times, there was something he said where I said, well, I never thought of that. But that was rare. So if I'm already doing the bulk of what he recommended, and there's other stuff I wouldn't do, not tons of it, but still there's some of that stuff I wouldn't do. And then there's that new piece. Does that basically say that you can never be successful and never do anything well if you're not doing all of that? And you know what? All of that takes a lot of time. It really does. For instance, all the marketing that he does, I guess, well, he's pretty much homebound in his own way. So there's nothing else going, but he's got a family and he's I don't put down anyone for the work that they do. But my God, that's a whole bunch of work. And I know that because I've done all of that kind of work at the same time. Of course, I also have this other gig that I do, but still, that's a lot of work. But it doesn't work for everybody. That's one of the things about gurus. Everything they do does not work for everybody. If we all read the exact same book, we're not all going to end up with the exact same results. Remember school? Remember algebra? Remember algebra? I got straight A's in algebra looking at the book. But not everyone who looked at the book got straight A's. We all followed the same thing. We all had the same teacher, but we didn't always all get the same result. That's the thing with these gurus. So let's come back to this email list. I need answers. I want to know exactly what am I supposed to do with an email list. Now, years ago, from 2003 to 2013, I wrote a newsletter on leadership and I wrote a newsletter on healthcare finance. In that case, I had a reason to have an email list. And I never had more than 175 people. So, I would lose some, I would gain some, but the most I ever had was 175 people over the course of 10 years. I wrote both of them for 10 years, and then I said, okay, it's time to give that up and do other stuff. But I, put it out there. I was trying to market myself by showing my expertise, but I didn't have any real products except for my books. And I never sold a single book because of the newsletter. I didn't know what else to do. What do you do for leadership? What do you do for blogging? I mean, I could write a book on blogging. I've talked about it. I have a friend of mine. We were thinking about putting something together, but still, there's tons of books on blogging. So am I going to get this email list, and I'm just going to pound people, buy my book on blogging? Explain this to me. I don't get it. Now, something that I do know that happens is there's a whole bunch of these email gurus who actually promote each other's stuff. Now, that's a good gig, by the way. I mean, some of these people have mailing lists of 50,000 people. So, John Johnson may have something that he wants, his buddies to sell or to market for him, and they all get a piece of it. And, you could end up with a major listing of people that you can send something to. You can send probably 500,000 people, and you're going to make enough sales from all the people who are sending something recommending that you buy from my buddy so-and-so, and everyone gets a piece of it. Well, that's a nice network to have. If I had a network of people like that, I'd figure something out really quick. But I'd put that question out there. Have you ever wondered what you're supposed to do with an email list? Do you actually have an email list? Is it big? Do you make a lot of money off of it? What are you selling? Someone give me an idea. I don't have any specifics for you. This is just my commentary. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope y'all have a wonderful week.